Your KPIs are lying about your company, and because they are, you don't know the true worth of your company. I have sat in three exit rooms where companies are trying to sell, and the CEO's own scorecard had green, 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 meaning everything was good. But that scorecard was not telling the truth. It wasn't wrong, but it was not telling the truth. It was just measuring the wrong thing that was required for an exit. Every operating dashboard you have built up to this stage answers one question: is this company running well right now, today? Because it shows the revenue trend, the margins, the pipeline, the churn, the utilization, and all these are backward and or present looking, but they're not measuring the operational health of the organization moving forward. That is the right dashboard for running a company right now, but it is the wrong dashboard for selling an organization or for preparing for a sale, because a buyer isn't pricing your last 12 months. Nah. They are pricing the next 5 years without you in the room. They are wondering how much of you is built within this organization that without you there would be a problem. And yes, we talk about it, but little action is done because most of the people you surround yourself with as a CEO leader are not designed to tell you the truth about what you should be looking out for. And most CEOs never build that dashboard, the one that gives you the things that are important, okay? That dashboard is not also common for people to be able to bring to your awareness, and because it's not common, it gets missed, because the people who you will surround yourself with, the people who are advising you on the sale, the bankers, they're most interested in what is going to make this deal easy right now. But they don't understand that the questions that are asked by the buyers are completely different, and the dashboard that measures them is a completely different dashboard. Okay, so the scorecards are different. The one that measures right now and the scorecard for what measures for a buyer are completely different. And most CEOs never build the second one because the diligence forces don't come until that time where it is crucial for you to sign for somebody else. They come much later. Now, this is a challenge. Nobody tells operators directly because, like I said earlier, the people around that selling situation have only one incentive: to keep the conversation, to kind of inspire you to keep the conversation about selling. Not the ones who will ask you the uncomfortable 6 months before you're ready kind of questions. No, they just want to tell you what it is that sounds good for a seller's point of view. But buyers price these things differently. A buyer will be looking at what happens if this person is not in the room. What happens to the relationships that keep this organization running? What happens to the top 3, 4, 5 clients if this person, the owner, is not in the room? Buyers price optionality and dependency risk, what is called key man risk, higher than anything else that is happening right now. So your KPI dashboard was built for management, not for evaluation. Okay, and those two are completely different dashboards, and they do not necessarily agree. I'll give you a quick example. A specialty manufacturer, low 9 figures in revenue. They had a scorecard that was genuinely excellent. On-time deliveries in their 90s, cross margins steadily expanding 3 years running. Every three, they were doing pretty good. Customer concentration was reasonably diversified, and every quarter, every metric looked green. Now, the CEO had every reason to believe that the business was strong and it was going to be easy for the sales process. Now, this is the kicker. Diligence found something that the scorecard didn't measure. Okay, every major relationship, every major customer relationship was unofficially related to the CEO, because the due diligence team decided to go and pick the 4 top customers, big clients, big accounts, and they called them directly. and they ask them, hey, tell us about this company. Tell us, would you do business with these guys if this person was not there? Now, obviously, they don't ask directly like that, but in their asking, they're able to find out that if the CEO was not there, if the relationship with the CEO does not exist, then the chances that they remain buyers and or they remain in business with this particular organization were almost zero. Now, you'd be surprised that even if the company has a vice president of sales, they've got a fulfillment team, they've got an account manager, they've got a customer relationship management system, they still could be missing the most important part. Because when the buyer side called the top 5 accounts as part of the diligence, 4 of the 5 said the same thing in almost the same version. We are here because of this CEO. We are here because of this person. Now, nobody measures that. Nobody had ever measured that. And it wasn't on any dashboard because it isn't the kind of operating scorecard that is built within a cash situation, for example. It only shows up when somebody asks the question, especially when they are buying. So what happens to the relationship if this person is gone? That's the most important question. And much as the deal did not die, I'll tell you, it got repriced, an annual structure with a 2-year transition requirement tied explicitly to customer retention and CEO's direct involvement. Okay. Now, the value is always in that relationship. The price for realizing, the price for realizing that was that the valuation dropped because of that. And because the valuation dropped, guess what? They had to re-engineer the risk of that person to make sure that in 2 years' time, they are not taking the risk of not having that value because this person had gone or had left. It's called key man risk. And in their re-evaluation, the price went down and the seller could not actually sell immediately. They had to have a 2-year wait before they could actually cash in. So why is this important? It's important because this will always show up in deal structure more often than it shows up in a headline multiple, which is exactly why most CEOs don't see it coming. The number on the term sheet can look great, they can look fine, the economics can be pretty good, but guess what? When the due diligence questions come, it becomes a problem. So here is the test. Pick your top 8 customers, suppliers, government relationships, or client relationships, whatever they are. And for each one of them, I want you to ask and answer one important question. If you personally were unreachable for the next 90 days, starting tomorrow, does the relationship survive and stay intact or not? With those people, with those big clients, you're not reachable for 90 days. Does it survive? If the answer is no, I want you to immediately, on the next day, whatever it is, I want you to immediately go in and solve that enterprise value problem that you have right now. And the way you're going to do it is going to be that you're going to figure out a way to have, and it's not a complicated fix, it's not complicated at all, but you're going to figure out a way to slowly but surely execute on making sure that there's a second person and a third person and a system that makes sure that this relationship is, this account is not relationship dependent. Okay, yes, relationships are important, but you must create a second authority figure within the company that is trusted regardless of whether you are there or not. So run the 8 relationship tests this week, okay, in writing, and be honest, and then pick the single riskiest relationship and immediately get a person and begin to schedule. I don't care where they are. I don't care whether if your number one client is based in Japan and you're in the US of A, or if your number one client is based in, I don't know, Russia or whatever, plan to jump on a plane with your number 2 or number 3 or whoever you want to bring aboard, and go and create that relationship. Create that feeling from the other side that they can trust this person. And slowly but surely, I had a great term recently. It's called nesting. And slowly but surely, be by their side as they begin to claw all the authority away from you and to them. And as they do that, encourage them to be able to do that with their team as well, so that your clients know and get that feeling that, guess what, we don't depend on just this one person. We know that this company, regardless of who we're dealing with, is going to deliver. That also means that the structure, the process, the operations, the excellence runs all the way through. Most importantly, that everybody knows the price that we pay if that is not the case. So a genuine transfer of relationship, equity done early enough, looks like the best thing you can do, especially when it comes to creating that value that your organization demands. So I encourage you to do it today, because it will save you a lot, but also think about what it will do for your team if they get that confidence. So your scoreboard tells you how well you are running the company right now. It has never once told you it has never once told you what the company is worth without you. And this particular exercise is going to help you to do that. Now, those are two different questions or two different scenarios. I encourage you to take it upon yourself to say, I'm going to make sure that this is done properly, but most importantly, that I increase value and take away the key man risk, because that, even if you're not planning to sell, it is a risk for you to have that key man risk within your organization. On the flip side, it encourages your team to know that you trust them. It encourages your team to grow. It encourages your team to take responsibility. And most importantly, it grows the organization as a whole, holistically. So go do that this week, whatever happens. And as you're doing that, remember that together we have the audacity to make this world a better place. And as we do that through enterprise, through business, through running organizations, let us bring some people along with us so that together we can make our difference. Until next time, remember the Autopsy, the Leadership Autopsy survey at the bottom. Click it, go find out exactly where your challenges could be from a leadership point of view. Let's get rid of that friction. Let's make you the kind of leader that you ought to be. Till then, peace.